to you live once again at 0900 hours, 30 minutes on Sunday, September 8th. This also was in my spirit to talk about. This is for the brothers. You know that we grow up, we call each other punks, chumps, just names. We didn't really mean it because the other young brother next to us, he wasn't tough, but we still hung out with him. Or the one we thought was the toughest, we found out later he wasn't the toughest. He wasn't the strongest. Sometimes we found out the guy in the group, this is why I don't use alpha and beta, simp, and educated lane, down brother, or the undercover. I don't use these because when they come to find out who that brother really is, it took him through a trial. We call it a test. And then he came out with a testimony. He came out with a story with how in which he overcame whatever obstacle, whatever tribulation, whatever strife was in front of him, he overcame it. And if we can understand one another that we all have our journey, we all have our path, but it's within our choices that we make a decision that actually leads you to this path. So if I'm going down one route and why didn't take another route to get to the destination? No way in the world I can keep going that direction and say I'm going to get there. What will cause to happen? Either you're going to have to turn around, or on that way to that direction, you're going the wrong way, because there's a wrong and there's a right way. You got to eventually turn around, or you got to go way out of your way to get on that path again, to see that direction. And since it's a Sunday and we all love the Sunday is about paths and directions, sometimes a bad decision is the reason. Say for instance, I know I make $35,000 a year, and I want to buy a car that's $50,000 in payment overall. Come on, now you gotta use your brains, brother. Come on now, use your brains. Well, in the career or the business you have at this moment, with this in this year, you already allotted you made $35,000 a year. You cannot exceed and go above the limit, which now that it's not, I call it a limit because you got to put a mark on what you're going to spend. You can't say that I can afford a $50,000 car and make $35,000 a year. That don't add up. That don't add up, brothers. Now, if you just said I make $35,000 a year and I can afford a $20,000 car, that don't add up. But it would be more in your range, because know what you can do now. You can finance it to a way that I can afford $20,000 out of my $35,000 this year, or within the next 2 years. See what I'm saying? Now break 10 now out of 35,000. If you break it down into 2 years, you split up the payments and allotment. Well, I'm gonna pay off $10,000 this year and pay off $10,000 next year. See how that leave you room? But if you made $35,000 a year and you was paying for $50,000 car, now if you split that up, that's 25. That's still only leaving you 10,000. You see how if you think about make a better decision right now, when you split up, you allot what you need. If you put more process energy into a better decision, you have a better outcome. 50,000, you make 35,000. Split that up, that's 25,000. You only have $10,000 left over. Now let's do, and this is just I didn't even plan to say it this way. So now think about this. You have a $10,000 left over to work with the rest of that year, which you can do is possible. But in reality, to say 10,000, that's living right at the poverty line. I don't care what stage you at. That's poverty line. It's in the city I live in is New York, is Buffalo. It's a poverty line. You actually should make over 12 to 13,000 to be above the poverty line. The poverty line is at $12,246 in this city. That's the poverty line. And if you understand why I say that, you know why. And so now you bought a car for 20,000. You split up in 10,000. You see how now you only paying 10,000 instead of only having $10,000 left over. See, in that decision making process that you just had, and this I led with that because I noticed something about us brothers. We don't uplift each other. I'm gonna keep making encouragement. It's gonna be part of the encouragement series. We'll make videos about we acting as animals. We'll make videos saying we're not being good fathers. But then when we're making these videos, we're not giving no resolve or resolution. I'm not mad about that. I'm happy that our brothers can get together, have fun, and wrestle around, play fight, and don't really get in the fight. Because you know what that's showing us? That's showing us who's really tough. And that's always been the design. I don't care what nobody say. It's not an animal kingdom thing. It's not an alpha male thing. It's just that when I will always, this was me too. I want to see who was the strongest. I don't care if you can win the fight. I want to see if we going to protect himself. See, we forget that. And I'm starting to see it. A lot of the young men, they don't do that. I walk through, I say, who the toughest? They say he is. I say, how he the toughest? Oh, because he's strongest. I say, well, when we grew up, I may not have been the toughest or the strongest, but when everybody needed something to happen, when it came down to decision of strategy, they came to me. Because I knew how to beat all of them. See, we was worrying about, now it says we worrying about losing or winning the fight. I'm not worried about losing or winning the fight. I don't have to get in one fight to beat you. I already strategized how to beat you. Now, when I got taller and stronger, imagine using all those techniques that you have, or that I have, now with my stronger body and I'm taller. So imagine using everything that I have instead of just saying, well, he's stronger than me. Well, I'm just as strong now. So imagine he don't have no technique because he is used to overpowering people. So if you want an alpha male, have an alpha male. Be alpha if you want. You're learning how to overpower people. You're not learning how to work with people or strategize. See, brother, it's a new realm right here. See, we're talking about the jocks versus the geeks. If the geeks really wanted to beat up the jocks, the geeks would have took over. But the geeks, that wasn't their game. Their game was to do better in situations where they knew they had the least amount of chances. So they had to do a little bit, had to move a little different. So for us brothers, if we start moving a little different, and the spirit keep telling me this, we got to be a little bit more quiet on these online things. If we gonna do something, we should just do it. The quieter we are, the better off, because they're watching us. They're giving us orders. They're giving our women, same race women, orders to do certain things. They don't realize it. So from the beginning of time, we got to understand that, and it's no offense to you women are not on the same page. If we don't get out of it, we will never get out of it as a race. So what I say unto us, I say unto all, it's our path, it's our journey, it's our choice. Let this be a reminder to how we should overcome, but not battle each other. I say, brothers.